Richmond Hill! No, wait a minute. Richmond Hill! My name is Mohammed QAmin, and I'm the founder and executive director of the Caribbean Equality Project, a community-based organization that empowers, advocates for, and represents Black and brown, lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, gender non-conforming, and queer Caribbean immigrants in New York City. Today, I am privileged and honored to be in this space with all of you all. As a proud, queer, Indo-Caribbean Muslim immigrant, a native of Guyana, a survivor of indentured ancestry, and a reflection of the diverse composition of the LGBTQ community in New York. 25 years ago, my parents made the same decision thousands of you did. Hoping to give their 4 children a better life, they traveled to America and settled in the concrete jungle. Not having a formal education, like many low-income immigrant families, my parents struggled to navigate New York City. Still, they were determined to keep us safe and ensured we had access to an education as we build a new life in Far Rockaway, Queens. Donna, didn't I see you? I became the first member of my family to graduate college. Today, my siblings are educators and staffers within the New York City Department of Education and at CUNY Law School. In 2005, I moved to Richmond Hill, a community I would visit as a teenager because it reminded me of Guyana. From exploring the restaurants and shopping for gilbaka at the fish markets, to buying flatbread and pine tarts from the cultural grocery stores and the bakeries. I've always known Richmond Hill as Little Guyana. At the age of 22, with the support of my parents, I became a homeowner in this community. Like many of you today, my parents sacrificed so their children could thrive and actualize this notion of living the American dream. Today, as we celebrate this historic moment for all Guyanese, I want to remind you that queer and trans Caribbean immigrants have always been a part of this intersectional embodied struggles of belonging in Little Guyana. The pavements of Liberty Avenue is drenched with my brother's blood after being viciously attacked in 2013. He's standing right over there. Many of you know him as international dancer Zaman. Many of you have hired him to perform at your weddings and your annual cultural festivities, or have seen Sundari, the Indian goddess, dance down Liberty Avenue in the annual Pagwa Parade. Similarly to all the LGBTQ people who call Richmond Hill home, we have struggled to defend, but we are fearless and we have been advocating for our rights to coexist and thrive among you all. Today, I honor my queer and trans Guyanese family that have braved these streets with their beauty, resilience, and talents. May we never forget the artistic contributions of the late Gora Singh, the writings of the living icon Rajiv Mahabir, the business entrepreneur Victoria Vimala Prasad, and the powerful voice of Pratima Dubey. Today, we have faced colliding pandemics, from racism and colonialism to indentureship and slavery. Collectively, we have survived decades of displacement, class struggles, ancestral trauma, and harm. But we as Guyanese immigrants have used our bodies, our voices, our food, our music, and other interdisciplinary mediums to preserve religious traditions and culture throughout New York City. When I look at this backdrop that you see behind me, I see our diverse contribution to the city's economy, cultural diversity, and growing political power. But since the beginning of the COVID-19 pandemic, our communities have struggled and have lived in fear. Okay, I have one more thing to say. Immigrants have always been essential in New York City. I'm gonna say that again. Immigrants have always been essential in New York City. We must continue to fight, to support, and mobilize healing spaces for our communities to thrive. We must center racial justice, immigrant rights, police reform, and accountability in our organizing as we love and protect our most vulnerable community members. Today, we begin a new chapter in our history as we fight on in solidarity for justice and collective liberation. Thank you, everyone. And go out and vote on June 22nd, if you're eligible.